Hey all, Satish here. Today let's see how we can write a code using a state machine approach. So in the previous example, we had turned on the LED, delay, turned off an LED and delay. So now I'll explain the state machine concept using this LED blinking delay. So let me tell you what first a state machine is. So let's break up this LED blinking code into different states. So first state is LED is on, then there is a wait state, then the LED turns off and there is a wait state. So now this is 4 states. The first state is your LED is on, then there is a wait state, then there is LED off and there is a wait state here. Now there are 4 states in it. It will come here, it will wait for some time, then come here and again wait for turn off the LED and come back and wait, and once this is complete it will go and turn back the LED. So now in a state machine what we have to do is we have to break our operation into states. So this is one state, this is another state, this is another state and there is a state here. So then the transition happens based on time. It has to wait for a particular amount of time. Okay, now so why do you need a state machine approach? See, now let's assume in this case we have one LED, both the LEDs are turning on together and turning off together. Now let's assume that we wanted the red LED to turn on and off in 100 milliseconds and blue LED to turn and off on and off every 1 second. Now you can write it in this fashion, but it's going to get a bit complicated. If you write it in a state machine approach, it will become easy. I'll show you how. And the biggest problem with this writing code like this is the delay. So what happens is when this delay is being executed, the processor is stuck here. So no other thing will happen. So let's assume that you have some IoT device where you're sending data to the server continuously. Now let's assume that you want to blink an LED once in 5 seconds. So if you write a delay like this, for 5 seconds you cannot do anything. Basically just for turning on and off the LED, your processor is stuck here. So you will not be able to do multiple things at the same time. Using a state machine approach, what we will do is there will not be any delay routines. So we will introduce a delay. I'll show you how to write the delay, but the processor will not get stuck in any particular function or any delay. So now let me write a code to blink this red LED and blue LED at different frequency using a state machine approach. So for that let me set this as the main project. Then let me create a header file. dio.h and a source file dio.c. That is a digital input output. That is what I mean by DIO. Okay, if you come here, let me include dio.h. So dio.h. So here I'll define the states for hash define LED state on. So I'll be using a switch statement. For that I'm just defining all the states here. You will understand slowly why I'm doing this. State on underscore wait. So I'll do 2 and 3. So these are the defining the different stage, and for now I'll use 2 more variables. unsigned integer. This is I'll use this variable as a timer. UI, that is unsigned integer, timer, millisecond for red LED. So let me write it for red first, and here I will have to put external because it is in LED, and I will define the LED on time and off time here also. LED red on millisecond on, so let it be like 1 second on, millisecond off. So everything should be like properly, the variable names or height difference should be properly named. So basically what I mean here is the LED should be on for 1000 milliseconds, that is 1 second, LED off for 1000 milliseconds. Okay, now let me put this in VIO.C. So here let me write the function. So let me name it as SM state machine LED red be void. Then I will have a switch statement. So I need a variable also. So let me declare the variable also. Extern unsigned character UC LED red state machine state. So you understand why I am writing this, and I have to initially put it to I'll put it to LED state on. Okay, now this is a switch statement. Switch is also similar to else if you can do that, but this is a better approach. And for switch you need default break. Basically what default is there, like if this variable gets any other value than the one for which we have written the switch case, then it will be set to this point, to this value. Okay, now we have case this is the first case, there is a break. So we have 4 cases. Okay, now we have defined all the 4 cases. So I like to write my code very neatly. As and when the code becomes very complicated, having an organized way of writing a code is very important. So in LED state on, what do you expect? We want to turn on the LED. If you come to our main code, so we are writing for LED. So here we are turning on the LED. So this does not know where it is defined. So it is defined in dio.h. So once it knows that it's not DIO, sorry, it is IO map. So now it knows that. Now after the LED turns on, I have to go to the next wait state. For that, what I will do is I will change the state to this state. Okay. So now, so basically what, let me see, explain to you how the switch works. So initially it will see switch and the state. So this is a variable which I have used. So now initially I have set it to on state. So it will always come to this on state. So if there is no statement here, whenever you call this function, the switch statement, it will always keep coming here. So now after turning on the LED, I am changing the state to wait. So next time, so now what happens is once it will do this, change the state and break, it will go out. It's not that it will continue here, okay? It will break out of this. So next time you call this LED, it will come to this state. You have to remember that it does not do this and do this and do this and do this all together in one flow. Once this it hits the break statement, it will exit this switch case. So now before going to wait, I will use a particular, I have declared a timer, I guess here. This timer millisecond timer, I will put this to 0. Okay, so now I have made the timer 0. So now in the ISR, let me see where I have written the ISR. If you go to main, delay ISR, here what I will do here is this. I think this is incremented every 1 millisecond. I will increment the timer, and if this is greater than, I'll put an upper limit, or else what happened in our case, it is 75,000. If it crosses 75,000, it will come back to 0. I don't want it to happen. So if it's greater than 50,000, I will make it 50,000. So this will never exceed 50,000. Once it hits 50,000, it will be here. But this is also declared in, I have to include dio dot, else it will, this while compiling, this will throw a error. So now what happens is in the ISR, this delay will increment every 1 millisecond. Okay, until it reaches 50,000, that is 50 seconds. So now once I have made it here, it will come to this state every time this function is called. So now if this timer millisecond is less than the delay that we want to provide, that is, I have written it in on delay. If you come here, I will just break. Okay, so what happens here is it becomes 0, and in the ISR it will keep incrementing. This ISR, as we have seen in the last example, this ISR will happen every 1 millisecond. That is how we have set up this timer, and this will be incremented every 1 millisecond. So before that, let me comment this. So what I have to do here is I have to call this function that we have written. So now this function will be called very often, like depending on the processor speed, like every 10 microseconds, this function will be continuously called. So let me include this also. Hope you guys have understood why we are doing this include and all these things. Else while you compile, this will not know where this function is. Now because you have included DIO, it will know where this function is. Okay, now you have made it, initially it will come here, it will turn on an LED, ask to change the state, and make this timer 0 and go out. Next time it comes in, it will come to this state because you have changed it here. So here it will keep breaking out of this until this timer LED is less than 1 millisecond. If it exceeds 1 second, it is 1000 millisecond. That is what this is defined to. Then what I will do here is I should turn off the LED, or let me turn it off here. So we can write it in just two states, but I'm just you only need on and off. You can combine these two states, but for simplicity I split it up into 4 states. So here, once the wait is over, I will change the state to LED off. In this state I have turned off the LED. So now, like I did the last time, I will again make the timer 0, and in the wait what I will do here is I will, instead of on, this time it will be off. I will break, and after this I have to turn on the LED. So now it will turn on, make the timer 0. It will keep coming to this until this will become greater than 1 second. That's 1000 microsecond. It will be breaking out, and this variable is incremented in the ISR. So once that 1000 millisecond happens, it will change the state. This this condition will not be satisfied. It will come here. It will turn off. In the turn off, I am turning off the LED in this state and making the timer 0. And in the off wait, I am again waiting for this timer, whatever the delay I have given. Again, I have given for off also 1000 millisecond. It will keep breaking out of it. Once it exceeds 1000 millisecond, I will switch the state to LED on. So this should continue. So now this is a state machine up. If you see here, there is not even a single delay loop. So if you see our main code, it will go in, come out within a fraction of some microseconds. You will get into the function, come out. So you are not wasting any processor time just by writing a delay. Okay. Now let's see how this works in Proteus. Let me just build it and see if there is any error. There is an error. Let me see what it is. It's telling DIO. There is a function. I think I have not prototyped this function in the .js. Let me rebuild it. Function delay never called and delay millisecond never called. We don't want any more these kind of delays. Okay, now let me simulate this in Proteus and C. Now I have rigged up the circuit in Proteus. So watch the previous videos if you want to see how to rig up this circuit. And I have selected the hex file. Okay, now let's start it's blinking fast. It continues to blink fast. I think we had a startup sequence last time. We go to our main. In system initialize. So here in DIO or IO map. IO map. In iomap.c we had a startup sequence that blinked the LED 10 times. So that we can see, but it is not proceeding beyond that means it is calling the startup sequence again and again. Basically what that means is your watchdog timer is resetting the processor. So now let's see if we have clear watchdog timer. We don't have clear watchdog. Last time what happened, we had our delay millisecond, and the delay millisecond itself had the clear watchdog timer, so we were not calling it separately. Now since we don't have a clear watchdog timer, it was getting into state machines doing the required thing. But what, since the clear watchdog timer was not being called, the watchdog timer overflow and it resetted the processor. So now let me build this and see what happens. Let me pause Dropbox. We had faced this earlier. Clean and rebuild. Okay, let me run this. So there is a startup sequence, and the LED turned on, LED turned off. After a second, it should turn back on. So that is not happening. So let's see. There should be some mistake in the code. If I go here, so it on, wait, it turned off. Okay, now instead of, I should have in the off, it turned off the LED, but I never made a transition to this state. So it is continuously stuck in this state. So I should transition to off wait. If I don't make a transition, it will be held in this case. Like the switch statement will always come here. So I turn off the LED and go to the next state. Let me build it. Now let's simulate in Proteus. That's the startup sequence, and now it is 1 second on, 1 second off. So now the LED is blinking after we have written in a state machine approach. So if you see this code, it will be continuously coming to the while one loop, and there is no delay function. Now this is a state machine approach. So when you write a code, you have to always make sure that there is no delay anywhere in your code. Okay, now what you can do, you can have multiple things that are running in this while one loop, like a function for a state machine for all your operations. Let it be sending an SMS or connecting to the web and sending data to your server or anything. There should never be any delay loop in any of the function. You should always come back here and go. So you can make good use of the processor. Now let's just change this to bit more faster blinking. Let me put 100 millisecond and 500 millisecond off. Let me reduce this start blinking, or else we will never be able to know. Yeah, this is what the 100 millisecond on and 500 millisecond off. Let me just make only 2 of. Instead of using delays mode, let me use delay millisecond. Make it 100. Should be only 2 blinks when it did not start only. I think this delay has not been initialized in this IO map. That is why this is not working. So I have to initialize the delay before I call IO map. If I come to main, I have to do this. Else what was happening was I went to IO map, I called delay, but the delay was not initialized until this command is executed. Here only I was initializing the delay. So that is the reason this delay did not work. Yeah, now it's working. Okay, now let me quickly repeat it for timer, the blue LED also, so that we can see parallelly two things happen and which are independent of each other. So if I come to DIO, let me make a copy of the other LED called, it was called LED blue. Blue. So I should have named this red. I have not named it as red. So let me name it as red. Here it is blue and here I have red. So let me make it as blue. Let me do one thing. If there are similar things, no, having it, the last variable, the name which changes in the last is very useful. Then DIO also, let me make it as LED red. Let me build it and see. We use it in a lot of different places, so I have to let me no in which C# or Android control RR will do that. Okay, let me just quickly see if that's working. Okay, so now I have to write for blue. Just copy this and write for let me find and replace. Should be a quick way to do that. Replace it. Blue. So for here I'll have different for blue. So this let's put 250 millisecond on and 250 millisecond off. So here also it will be instead of right, control H RE. No, I'll replace all in the selection. And this also I have to use this variable in the timers also, because both the state machines are using different timers. So if you have multiple state machines like GPRS, Wi-Fi, you will have multiple timers for that. So generally I don't write delay like this, I write in the ISR, and just to show you how to write in a state machine approach, I'm doing the LED blinking in the state machine. So if you go to ISR, I think it is a main. Control H is to find and replace. Let's see if that worked. Not for this project. No seem to be any error. Let me rig up for the second LED. Let me build this. If you see this is operating at a different frequency and duty cycle, and this is operating at a different frequency and duty cycle. So now this is the state machine approach. So you will have a state machine for individual tasks that you have. Okay, so I have written a state machine for blinking red LED and state machine for blinking blue LED. Hope you are able to understand that. Now let's quickly do this in Renesas CS Plus and also check. So there is the code is very generic, so it should work in both of them. Just to follow that, we did it in Microchip. We'll also do it in Renesas. So let me create a file here. Control N hash if not define dio underscore h. Let me save it as dio. Okay, the path it has not taken. Save and let's see. I have to include those files also here. let me just copy this. So as I told you that we are writing all the code in a generic way, so it is can be copied from one platform to another platform. That is why all this generic names. So if it throws up this error, no, generally because you will have to if these three things are missing, it will throw up this error. Either in the .h or .c you have to remove. Yeah, if you put these three things, the error is gone. And in our main, we had done this. Here it is. So let me comment this. And I have to include and I'll run the simulator. Let's see what happens. Okay, for that I had to also put it in the timer. This thing has to be there in the timer also. So here it is, timer user. I have to include the new includes. Let me build it. Let me simulate it. So in this case, our P1 and P1.1 and 1.2. So let me start this. So if you see this, it is happening. But I think we have done periodic updating every debug tool every 500 milliseconds. But so this value gets updated only once in 500 millisecond. But we have given delays which are less than that. So it is not reflecting properly here. So let me go and adjust the delays. So on, let me keep it as 1 second, off 3 seconds. Here I'll keep 2 seconds on, 2 seconds off. You can see this. You see the processor will be running slowly. That is why it is not running at real time pace. But it will work. So now it has been only 4.3 seconds. My PC is bit slow, that is why it is not running at the simulation is not running at the correct speed. It was 4.3 seconds, and it has only been, even though I paused it after like 5 to 6 seconds, it only run 755 milliseconds. Yeah, so that's it with the state machine approach of writing a code. So this is like writing parallel state. If you write in all your routines or functions in state machine approach, what happens? It's like a parallel processing. You can have as many functions like I told you, driving an LCD, UART communication, ADC, connecting to the internet via 4G modem or 2G modem or Wi-Fi, or acquiring data, whatever it is. If you write it in a state machine approach, it will feel like it is happening parallelly. It's not like, it does not feel like it happens one after, actually it happens one after other, but because of it coming back to this while one function very frequently, it feels like all of them will happen together, because we are not wasting processor time with any delays. Hope you are able to understand that.